My grandson Ling Chao. You appear lost in deep thought.
Yes, Honorable Grandfather. Today another new student joined our class.
Are you troubled by the student? Or simply thinking of possibilities and change?
I do not know, Grandfather. The student wore the finest of clothes and spoke of great achievements of his family.
Are you envious of the clothes and feel inadequate from the family achievements of which he spoke?
No, Grandfather. I am confused.
Confused? How, Ling Chao?
The student also spoke of his achievements, most focused on having great athletic ability. Yet when the student finally participated in our games, we expected greatness, but his level was far below ours as he lacked of proper technique. Still, he refused any offers of assistance and quit after his initial failure.
Ling Chao, you experience the blindness caused by assumption and pride. It is difficult to overcome, because even the wisest and most knowledgeable can easily succumb to their blinding effect. When I had reached 15 years of age, a peddler entered the town with his mule-drawn wagon of trade goods. His name was Cho, and he traveled the entire country operating his business. He first came to our town many years before my birth, and for each year thereafter. He was very kind and well respected for his fairness in trade. My father invited him to eat with us whenever he came to town. My father asked questions of the towns and areas Cho had traveled. I sat mystified hearing of all the different places and people who lived in each.
Grandfather, if he came every year, why does the year when you reached 15 stand out?
That year Ling Chao, Cho looked very tired when he entered our family home. My father asked questions about his appearance. Cho replied that age was making it more and more difficult to travel the country selling his goods.
That is understandable, Grandfather.
Yes, Ling Chao. My father suggested that Cho stop his travels and open a small trading store in the town. Cho responded that would be impossible. It takes much money to open a store, and while he made much profit on his annual trip to town, he doubted that the people would trade regularly with him when they traded with the store already in town for the majority of their goods. My father replied, "Nonsense. The town is growing rapidly and there is enough trade to support both stores." Cho agreed and opened his store in the town. Business was slow but steady and Cho appeared content and remained well respected, even by the owner of the other store, because of Cho's fairness to all. Then a rumor began in town. Cho was a rich man.
How did the rumor begin?
A wealthy man new to the town entered Cho's store and made a small purchase. He paid for his purchase with a $50 gold piece. Cho responded that he would need to go to his sleeping quarters in the rear of the store to make change from his strong box. When Cho returned, he gave the man two $20 gold pieces, one $5 gold piece, and three $1 gold pieces in change. The wealthy man then went to have his hair cut. While talking with the barber, he mentioned his purchase and how Cho gave him change from his strong box. He said nothing incorrect, but the barber repeated the story of the strong box to his next patron, and thus everyone heard of Cho's strong box full of gold.
As a single spark spreads rapidly into a forest fire, Grandfather.
Yes, Ling Chao. Cho was much respected, but people began trading more and more with the other store. The people knew that the other owner struggled, and like Cho was a good man. Yet unlike before, they now thought Cho to be wealthy and therefore not in need like the other store owner. After several months, Cho received almost no business. A few days later, he collapsed on the street. People assisted him, but Cho assured everyone that he was okay. Cho collapsed a second time the next day. Again people assisted him, but Cho assured everyone that he was okay. 2 days later Cho collapsed for a third time. Again people assisted him, but Cho assured everyone that he was okay. The next day Cho's store remained locked. People thought he needed rest and did not want to disturb him. When the store remained locked the following day, people said that he must have decided to take a short travel to relax and re-energize himself. 1 week passed, and my father and others became alarmed that nobody had seen or heard from Cho. They feared robbers had entered the store for the strong box full of gold.
No, grandfather.
They broke down the door, but found no disarray or sign of robbers or troubles in the store. They went to Cho's sleeping quarters and found Cho lying on his mat, eyes closed, barely breathing. They immediately summoned the doctor. After examining Cho, the doctor said Cho was dying of malnutrition from lack of food.
No, grandfather.
Cho died that night with his head cradled in my father's arms. Later my father and other men opened Cho's strong box.
Grandfather, was it filled with gold pieces?
At the funeral my father spoke just as the rains began. Everyone stayed and listened as the rain fell faster and faster. No one felt capable of leaving, as if the rain washed the town's shame. My father began. We were all so blinded and selfish in our assumptions. If anyone in this town had collapsed once, let alone 3 times, we would have insisted and forced them to the doctor. Cho had stopped buying food. We assumed he was getting it from elsewhere. If any individual who lived alone had stopped buying food, someone would have at least asked about it. Yet we were blinded by believing Cho was a rich man. Did the strong box contain gold? My father yelled to the mourners. When we opened it, it was empty. No gold. But in its emptiness it contained something that Cho considered more valuable and blinded him like the rest of us.
Grandfather, what did your father mean?
Ling Chao. The strong box contained Cho's pride. It was the assumption of gold that blinded others from the reality of Cho's condition. It was Cho's pride that blinded him of what was his true value to the town. His fairness in trade with all. Even the wisest and greatest succumb. But Ling Chao. Always be cautious of pride and wary of assumptions.
Yes, honorable grandfather. Your pride may prevent you from seeking assistance, and assumptions are not acquiring facts.
And Ling Chao. Pride may blind you of the true value you have with others.